Hello, hello, and welcome to our free masterclass, Break the Cycle. This is going to be your pathway to paving your own path and story for yourself rather than just following what you think you're supposed to be doing with your life and actually getting paid abundantly to share that journey. So we're so excited to be diving into this with you today, tonight, this morning, wherever you are in the world. And just, yeah, so grateful to be sharing the space over the next hour or so. Just encouraging everyone to be super present with this. Get yourself comfortable and grab your friends, have them watch with you, grab your partner, have them watch with you, and just really get to give yourself the permission slip to dream a little bit bigger over this next little bit together and be open to receiving the ways in which your life gets to change and shift by you recognizing, and in recognizing, actually being on the path to starting to break a lot of the cycles that maybe are holding you back in life. So who is this for? This is for the visionary who knows deep within your soul that you came here for so much more than the life that you may have been settling for. You might be someone that people don't really always seem to understand you and your path or the way that you choose to live your life or your dreams. You have maybe an unconventional way of seeing the world and what you want to create with this life, and that's really beautiful. You're starting to realize you don't really need to care what other people think about your path. You get to just live the way that you want to live, and you're starting to open up to maybe different ways that you can do that. You know where you're going, you've got a solid vision for your life, but you just haven't really known the exact steps to take to get there. You're ready to make a shift and start stepping into that life that you've always dreamed of rather than just talking about eventually doing it. So I'm so excited to dive in with you today. But before we go into any of the content here, I really want to just tap into our hearts for a moment. The beautiful Chelsea is going to be just sharing a transmission with us of love, of dreaming, of igniting us all to really recognize what we came here to earth for. Chelsea grew up in poverty in a constant state of survival, and she always dreamt of a bigger life, even when she couldn't exactly see how that would happen. She was living in a mental hospital at the age of 15, taking a handful of antidepressants 3 times a day. And still she had this vision that pulled her through of what life could be. And that was really what helped her survive the darkest times of her life. She recently moved across the world with absolutely no job or backup plan, fully doing this online business, igniting other dreamers around the world to start to break free from the matrix and create location freedom to live a connected and empowered life. She is now deeply healing her ancestral line through breaking cycles of trauma and poverty and fear, and actually creating a brand new story for herself of how life gets to go. So I'm so honored to have Chelsea pop in here and just share what's on her heart with all of us right now. And yeah, just enjoy this beautiful inspiration from this beautiful woman.
Thank you so much, Sharp, for the introduction to me. I literally started just tearing up again, just hearing the journey back to me, because it's like, damn, like that was really real. This is really real. This is such a real life that we're so courageously showing up to and navigating and creating a new way. So thank you for this. And I'm so glad we're all here. I want to get straight to the point with this one. Like, I just want to dive straight in. I want to first start by saying you are already breaking the cycles by literally being alive and being you right now. I'm going to say that again. You already are breaking the cycles in your family line, in your lineage, in society, by being alive right now in this time on the planet, and by simply being who you are. You already are doing it. You literally already are doing it. So I just want to acknowledge that first. No matter what ancestral lineage you come from, we have all of our ancestors have gone through some kind of oppression, suppression, limitations, lack of choice, lack of freedom, all of our ancestors from all over the world, really because of colonization. I don't feel like that's how it's been always, but through the spread of colonization, like it's really created a effect on our planet globally. And the life that you're living right now, even if it's not the full embodiment of your dreams in the big wide world, like travels and like the farms and the eco villages and all the things that your spirit was born here to create and be a part of, even though that may be not fully manifested right now, the freedom and the choice, the opportunity, the way that you're able to express yourself, the way that you feel your feelings and give it voice, the way that you show up in the world, the way that you embody yourself right now is the freest that your lineage has been. You are the freedom that your ancestors prayed for right now. You're the living embodiment of that right now. What a fucking gift. I just want to deeply, deeply acknowledge that and say congratulations for showing up to Earth right now, in this time, in this way, in this form that you are. Your ancestors are proud. They're so proud of you. They're smiling and dancing and rejoicing at who you are and who you be today. And I also want to acknowledge that we are as well, indeed, simultaneously breaking cycles as we speak that do not serve us anymore. It's both. We're the freest our ancestors have ever been, and we're still breaking the motherfucking cycles that have limited our ancestors for lineage, for generations and generations and generations. And so that's real too. And some of the cycles that we're breaking right now, like, are common all over the world. But some of the cycles are poverty and survival, just like living a life in deep poverty and in survival. Another cycle we're breaking is being so disconnected from this earth, like being so far removed from the earth because of the hustle, because of the grind, because of the cement in the cities that we live in. Another cycle we're breaking that is really, 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 really important right now is breaking the cycle of the hustle and grind, this hustle and grind that supports the abuse of our nervous systems and living out of like harmony with our natural way of being on the planet. Another cycle we're breaking is fucking living small and keeping it safe and not letting ourselves dream so big, so wide. Like, you, if you're watching this right now, it's probably because you have massive dreams. It's probably because you see a different way of living. It's probably because you know that this way that we're living on the planet is not the ultimate way, and there is a better way. There's a better way. There's a way that is in more harmony and more honoring of our own hearts and of this earth. And so today, this masterclass really is us diving deep of how possible it is for you to live a new life, for you to pave your own way and to be supported by doing that. Like, truly, a lot of us we know that this is what we are born for, and we're still struggling in the like day-to-day grind. And so we are going to dive deep in how possible it is. I'm just going to take a deep breath for a second. And just like dropping back in. I can feel the fire like burning inside of me, and I'm like, okay, just slow down and tune back in. I think this is so beautiful. The fact that he just even stopped like this in the middle of our master class, because that's not normal either. That's not like the normal way of doing business and showing up in spaces like this. And I think it's important that we make these fucking things normal, that we make this normal, and that we honor like what's real and true for us in the moment. And sure, I think it would be super powerful actually if you shared the story of, I just feel like it connects so deeply, of even jumping on here and what the heck happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I would really love to. I was thinking as you said that, you said honoring where you're feeling and where you're at in the moment. And like honestly, where we're all at in the moment is kind of flustered because we really wanted to stream this live into our Facebook community and have it be like and and that's not what happened. And because of the cycles that we've been breaking of victim mentality and life is happening to us and everything is against us and nothing ever works out, none of us were sitting here going like, life hates us and we're not meant to do this masterclass. We were all like, I guess there's a greater reason why it needs to be this way. So we're now recording it and then streaming it to you guys right now as you're watching it. But like this, all of this was kind of like shook us up a little bit. And the fact that we're in a business where we can actually just be real and share that, I feel like I pulled an all-nighter basically like getting this ready, and I'm still breaking cycles of like perfectionism and cycles of this like I need to do it more and do it better for it to be kind of like worthy. But also this came from such a space of inspiration and knowing what's on our hearts to share. So it's like it's all perfect. But just yeah, like some of us are tired. Some of us are like confused by this whole tech thing and like it's all perfect. So yeah, just like you said, the breaking of like the hustle culture and the perfectionism and the like needing to show up in the best possible way and like stepping into this new paradigm where like our gift to the world and our what we get paid for and our message is literally like whatever we're embodying right now, wherever we're at, whatever we're learning in life, when it's pretty and when it's not, like it doesn't matter. And so yeah, take that from us showing up on a masterclass like however we are, it doesn't matter. We don't have to be in like a perfect state to show up and change the world.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. Like when I pause, I'm like, okay, there's just the theme of what we just went through feels so relevant right now. And I had to do that. And it's so not the norm, but I'm so grateful that you brought that piece in, because it's so true. It's like, how can we like just do business and like create income that is in a way that is more authentic to us? And that's a huge reason why we all started this business, is because it felt more aligned with like our real desires and real ways that we want to live. And so we'll be diving deep in how this new business, new earth high ticket affiliate business model can serve you into breaking free from the old way of living and creating and paving a whole new path for yourself.
Amazing. Thank you so, so much, Chels. That was beautiful and perfect and exactly what it needed to be. Um, so what we're going to be covering today is diving into writing a new story, what that looks like, breaking old patterns that are holding you back, letting go of societal expectations, and paving your own brand new path that actually feels true to you for maybe the first time ever. We're going to be talking about why wealth matters. So breaking the cycle and how that actually pertains to money and the generational and societal narratives that we have adopted along the way, whether ancestrally, like on a soul level, or even just through what we heard in childhood around what it means to be wealthy, and whether we can be wealthy. We're going to talk about getting paid differently. So this is the new era of earning, and it's your permission slip to start dreaming bigger. And we're going to learn how you can actually get paid abundantly to share what matters to you, which is this new earth paradigm of living, which is we all bring gifts to the table in different ways in this new world where we break free from this everyone needs to be hustling constantly and working a 9 to 5 in an office. Like, what does the earth start to look like? And it's people bringing their gifts to the table and getting to ignite each other and hold space for each other. And that's literally what we get paid for in this business. And then we're going to talk about igniting your path. So where to actually grow from here and getting to embody and have just such full heart-centered support throughout your journey and footsteps to follow from the people that have gone before you in this business. So where to go from here. So my name's Charlotte Emily. For those of you who don't know me, I hustled throughout my entire life as a high achiever. Like I mentioned, this is still a cycle that I'm working through right now, but one that I'm at least like having a little bit more fun with than I used to when it was like high school exams. But I believed that university was the only true path to success. I really adopted that narrative that said that that was like the way to do life. And if you wanted to have good money, you had to go to school and get a really high paying job. I had always dreamed of being a present mama, traveling the world full time with my children. And I didn't want to have to choose between spending time with family and making an abundant income. I really wanted to believe that I could have both, but I didn't know what that could possibly look like because I had seen examples of people having money, but being really, really busy all the time. And then I had seen examples of people being more present in their lives, but not having as much money. I didn't see a lot of examples of people that embodied both. So I got to actually break that cycle in my life. And I now earn a thriving 6-figure income in part-time hours with no university degree through authentically igniting others, all while traveling full-time and enjoying island life with my little family, which means the world to me because breaking the cycle for me now definitely looks like not passing these limiting beliefs down to my daughter and actually getting to show her what it looks like to really go after your dreams and believe in yourself and choose a better way, because she is looking up to me to decide what life looks like and what the meaning of life is and what money means. And so I feel like there's a whole extra weight of responsibility on getting to hold space for her to have the journey that she's meant to have with money, with life, with anything, without telling her, well, this is the way that it is. And, you know, that's just the way things are and we just can't afford it. But actually just opening her up to having her whole own journey and human experience with as little programming as possible. So what it looks like to actually write a new story and why we might want to. A lot of the beliefs that we're carrying around every single day of how life should go are not even our own beliefs. So we have these like expectations, this story that we tell ourselves about like, this is just the way life is. Like everyone has to work a job. Like, of course you do. This is just the way things are. All of that comes from, again, some of it can be passed down through our lineage. Like there are literally studies done that show the link that we have to they've done it on mice, but that show like the link that we have to generations up to 14 generations before us of like traumas that they've gone through or, you know, things that they experienced still affecting us to this day, even if we didn't know those people in our ancestral line. So whether it's that or whether it's specifically in childhood, hearing different things around you know, how the world works, that's where we started to kind of pick up on these belief systems. And those belief systems then play out in what we're experiencing, because the story that we're telling ourselves about the world and how things are ends up being what we notice in the world. It doesn't mean that those things weren't already happening. You know, you can be telling yourself a beautiful story and you're noticing all the beautiful things. It doesn't mean that the horrible things aren't happening too, but what you focus on, you find. So when you are scripting a story of how incredible life gets to be, even when there are lows, the highs and lows and all of it, that we came here to experience all of this, you're going to start to notice the ways in which life is beautiful. And when you focus on, you know, life being out to get you and bad things always happen to me and I'm just not lucky and I just don't have this, you're telling yourself this story, you're going to start to notice those things. You're going to trip yourself up and fall down because you keep saying you're clumsy and that's all you can think about. You know, everything seems to kind of like go off. You're like, oh, it's a bad day. And now you're noticing all the things that are bad about the day while there were still good things too. So what you focus on, you truly do find in your reality, and it's what you're going to notice the most. And so starting to recognize that our current reality is a result of the stories that we've been telling ourselves about how life is, this rigid, like this is just the way things are. When we see that, then we actually unlock a power that was always within us to start believing in something new. So recognizing like the story that I've been telling myself is what has created the reality that's in front of me right now, because it's all a matter of how I've been perceiving it. That can be really confronting. And we might want to stay in this victim mentality of like, but that bad thing happened to me, but this person did this to me and I didn't ask for that. And life just did this to me. Life did this for you. And you created this experience with life so that you could learn, and you get to start scripting a new story at any given point. It doesn't mean things are always going to go according to plan. This masterclass did not go according to plan, but it's perfect. And you holding that vision, us holding this vision of impacting all of these people, has you watching this right now anyways. So you do get to tell yourself the story of how life gets to go instead of how life has to be. And whatever you grew up believing about money or success or freedom, it doesn't have to be the ultimate truth. So where can you actually source and look for new examples of how life gets to go? So if the people that you grew up around are not that example that you want to look up to of how life gets to go, because they're not actually living the life that you desire, that doesn't mean that the life that you desire doesn't exist. It means that you're looking at the wrong examples. You're literally looking up to people that are not living your dream life to tell you whether you can or cannot live your dream life or whether it's possible, but they didn't have the same dreams, and that's okay. So by being here, you're actually exposing yourself to different people who get to expand your idea in your mind and this cycle that's playing on loop of what is possible. And the truth is that like really anything is possible. Like if you can imagine it, if you desire it, if it's on your heart, it's there for a reason. So start looking to new examples of how life gets to go instead of just surrendering to, well, this is all there is because my dad told me that everybody has to work. We do still do work. It's just, it's so different than like the traditional workforce. I can't even relate to that part of me that used to work a job anymore. I haven't worked a job in the last 4 years. So yeah, it doesn't have to be that way, basically. So what do you truly desire out of your life? This is something we don't always think about. Like when I ask you what you desire, I don't want you to think about what you were told would make you finally happy. I don't want you to think like what you think you're supposed to want or what would prove your success to others. Like if I had the mansion, then people would know that I'm like happy and successful and fulfilled. Or, you know, if I can buy all the plane tickets in the world, then I'll finally feel free. Like, yes. And if that's a genuine desire for you, cool, amazing. But just really sinking in, because so many of us have been conditioned to believe that success has to look a certain way. Like I'll be successful once I can say I'm a full-time traveler, or I'll be successful once I have like the fancy car or whatever. We don't actually know what we really, really, really desire until we give ourselves the space to let go of everything else, like attachments to the outcome and attachments to what other people think and what success is supposed to look like, and really getting clear on like, what are my values and what makes me genuinely fulfilled? Like, do I enjoy being in nature? Okay, that's a value of something that I want in my day. Like, do I really want kids, or do I think I'm supposed to want kids? Just really, really tapping into what you truly desire and taking the time to sink into this question could be the greatest thing you've ever done. We're going to recommend a place where you can go to actually dive deeper into this question and go on a whole discovery journey of uncovering what really matters to you. So stick around for that. This didn't start with you, but it gets to end with you. So whatever patterns you've been repeating in your life, whatever life you have settled for, whatever you believe about the world, the root of all of that is likely not your fault. It didn't start with you. It didn't necessarily come from you. You didn't do anything wrong to end up with this perception about the world. Whether it's fear of trusting your intuition or a feeling of being in constant survival mode, a lot of this is passed down from previous generations. And if it's all we've ever known, then we do tend to repeat that cycle. And that's just what ends up happening, is these cycles keep repeating and they keep getting passed down. And you're like, you know, my mother wasn't present, but now I'm not present. And now, like, I didn't know I was doing it until I was doing it. And a lot of us aren't actually aware of these things, but by being aware of them, you're in a really magical place, because while it isn't your fault that this has been your experience up until now, now that you have become aware of the patterns, it actually really is your responsibility to do your best not to pass them down to future generations. That's the role that we get to play. We can be resentful towards like the ways that we were raised, if we felt like we were missing something in our childhood, or we went through something we shouldn't have had to go through. Absolutely. Like, it's your right to be angry. It's your right to be upset and sad and frustrated that those things happened. And they happened for you to grow through and get to become the version of you that knows what's so important. Like, the things that I may feel like we're potentially missing in like growing up from different figures and whatever, I get to actually then just give those to my daughter even more. I get to just be better. I get to take them as lessons and recognize that, like, okay, if that's something that I felt was missing, then it's my mission to give more of that to the world, because it's probably missing for others as well. With that being said, I would love to introduce the beautiful Amy Louise, who is going to share a little bit of her journey and how she's been breaking cycles like freaking madness over here, just like pop, 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 pop. I swear, it's so incredible to witness. She was born and raised in a traditional Maltese household with the generational belief that life just has to be hard. And she was taught growing up that her path to success was to either work extremely hard and hustle 24/7 to be able to have that success, or she should just marry a successful man. And those were the two ways that it could go. So she is now breaking the chain of parents not having time to be present with their children by building a legacy for her future family. And she's recently celebrated thousands of dollars in commissions. She's been stepping into her power massively and inspiring so many people. She's retired her job at 22 years old and recently moved to Bali. And now she's just stepped into this whole new paradigm of life that she knew was possible, but had to actually decide and go first for herself and really make it happen. So I'd love to hear what you have to share, my love.
Thank you so much, Charles. That was actually really nice. I don't know. Just hearing the story, like Chelsea said before, the same thing. You're like, damn, that actually happened. I did that. I actually did the thing. Because I think we all just are so used to having it in our head and thinking and believing it genuinely is just a dream. I know for me, I used to feel like it was a dream. And I'm really grateful to be here and really grateful and honored that I am able to speak on this masterclass about such a special topic, like to for all of us and for like the people who are watching, and hello to everyone who's catching the replay right now. I'm so glad that you're here, and yeah, I can't wait for you to hear what we all share. And I'm just trying to think of where to start because there's so much I can share. And I'm not used to speaking publicly, I'll be quite honest. So this is one of like still my first times. So just keeping that in mind, I guess, when I'm a little bit diverting or to all these different topics, it's like a lot to speak about. But basically, where to begin? The idea of being a cycle breaker, like it actually is so special. I wake up every day and I'm like, if not me, then who? Like, if not you, then who? Like, who's going to do it? Like, who's going to do it? Because if we don't do this, what we've experienced so far is going to become our children's reality. And, you know, look, it's served our ancestors to a point, and we simply haven't had they didn't have the opportunities, sorry, that we have now. Like, that's literally the only difference. I was speaking to my dad this morning, and he's Maltese, and I was talking about like my grandfather, which is my dad's dad. He literally busted his ass to get them from Malta, which is like a little island, if you guys didn't know, in the Mediterranean. And there was like lots of wars going on, World War II. And my grandfather, he like literally busted his ass, worked so hard to get our family from Malta to Australia. Like, we immigrated there, and he can barely speak English, could barely write. He doesn't know, he had no education, and working so hard to get us these opportunities that we have. Like, I feel like, how could I take it for granted? You know, how could I keep walking around? I knew that there was something more. I was like, there has to be more to life than this cycle of like literally I watched him work so hard even until he's now 93, and he always talks about how hard he worked, how he never spent time with any of my aunties and uncles, and my dad lets me know as well how that was. And yeah, he was never around because he worked so hard and was literally 12, 14 hours a day working, providing for 7 people in a house on one income back in like the 60s and 70s. It's like, man, that would have been so hard. And that's what's ingrained into me, particularly, obviously, because it's my generations. And like, I am such a hard worker. And when I found this opportunity, I was working so hard. I did the whole thing like Shah and was told that university and education meant money. So come on, go get a degree, get a job, work hard, and then you'll see the results. And I literally did social work. I was working with casework because I wanted to help people. And I got into the job and I remember seeing like the paycheck and I was like, this is the paycheck. Like I was grateful, but I was also like, damn, I'm literally busting my own ass and holding space for like traumatized people who are in a system that literally is broken. So it felt like you can't actually make the impact that you thought you could make anyway. Um, and yeah, it was actually depleting me as a person. I become very, very like morbid, my outlook on the world, because I was seeing all this stuff happen that is just, you wouldn't think it would happen in a care system, basically, because it was just foster care. And it was really, really heartbreaking what happens, and it doesn't get spoken about, and everyone just conforms. This is what I was going with this. Everyone in like the workforce conforms to abuse of children, to stuff like this happening in a government care system. And it's literally just for their paycheck, they will conform. Like that's what humanity's got to the point where we will conform to child abuse and things going on in the workforce just because it's your job and it's a paycheck. And that's how desperate the system has caused us to be, and reliant on paychecks. And that's why I got to the point where I found this opportunity and I was like, no, I'm rewriting that narrative. I don't want to be a part of this. I want to help people in another way that is not in the care system. So that's my work experience. And yeah, it was really like, I was really depressed when I found this opportunity because of what I was seeing every day, and like all that I was trying to do to help. I was trying to move mountains to help people in that way. And now finding this opportunity, we're all helping people in such a better way. It's a freeing way. You don't actually need any system. The system is coming back and connecting to you as a person and healing yourself, so that when we actually do have more kids in our future generations, like they are learning from people who are healed, and we're continuing to always grow. And that's what I love about this. And, like who actually thought that an online space could change so much for so many people? Like look at Shah, like her motherhood journey is just so inspiring. Like I want to be a mom one day, and I'm not a mother yet, but I really plan on being a mother. And seeing Shah like do conscious parenting, like being so aware and like holding herself accountable as a parent for her own healing journey, and so many other mums in this space as well. Honestly, it's so inspiring. It's one of the reasons why I joined. I actually found a lady who was doing this in New Zealand, and she was a stay-at-home mother on the benefit and was doing affiliate marketing. And I was literally like, how could she do this? Obviously, it has to work because she's on the benefit in New Zealand, which is one of the toughest countries to be on a benefit, looking after 2 children. And I was just inspired. I watched her for ages and was curious. And then I watched Masterclass just like this one that you guys are on. And yeah, I was so inspired, and I was just envisioning like, what is my life going to look like when I have kids if I don't do this? Like, what, I'm going to have 1 year of mat leave, maternity leave, and what, then go back to work and never see my child, like only hear about what they're doing, not see it. Like, I'm going to have people tell me, like the award, here's a photo of your kid getting an award at school, if they went to school, which I don't really want my kids to go to school personally, but we'll go into that later. But yeah, it just all dawned on me. It was like a weird light bulb moment. It was like, oh shit, wake up, like think. But we hadn't ever been taught to think because of you know, all of the conditioning. We're taught to just stay in one place all day, you know, listen to orders. It's just, yeah, honestly, when I started thinking, it changed everything, because then I was like, okay, what did my ancestors suffer for? How can I change this and actually take the opportunities that we're blessed to have in this day and age, like technology, and make that my reality, and actually tap into those technology sources and the internet and social media, and not be a consumer of social media, be a creator of social media, and like inspire people and use the global reach we have with social media to reach people that are like-minded, that actually want to create a lifestyle that can be easy, that can be using your social media to post, literally to create content that inspires other people, and you can get paid to do it. Like, while we're literally in this forest. I just want to show you guys this beautiful forest. I don't know if you can see. But we're in a rice field forest in Tagalalang in Bali. And yeah, I'm so blessed to be here. Another part of my story, I know I'm going a bit long, but I just had a light bulb moment when I went to a retreat with these four beautiful women, actually, three beautiful women. And Shah was leading this retreat. And I just felt like in that moment I was there, I was in Bali, I'd flown over from Australia, I was living in Sydney, coming from hustle bustle every day, even doing routine sports to the point where I was like literally just so routine. I got to Bali and I actually had a chance to be calm and like free and sit and do nothing for a few days. And only then could I actually see, oh, wow, like this life that I've been living every day with having to be somewhere 24/7, having to do this, having to do that, having to answer to this person, answer to that person. It's not normal. And distracting myself with like sports. I used to do powerlifting, and it's so routine, but it's only because the rest of my life was so routine as well. Yeah, I had this big epiphany there, and I was like, no, I'm going all in. And then I sold my car, rented out my property because I own a property, and I rented it out, and I was like, I'm going all in. I want to travel. I never thought I could ever travel. And I don't know about you guys, but when you're growing up in a society like we all have been conditioned to grow up in, if you don't have a lot of money from your parents and you're living week to week, which mine were, I don't know about you guys, but you never actually feel like you're going to travel because it's not your reality. It never has been. We barely could afford money to put food on the table at some points. So it's like, you just agree and believe in yourself that you're never going to travel. And I remember times where we'd eat tuna cans for dinner. Like, you know, like literally having no money, to the point where, yeah, you're just going to try and exist in this world that you're in that country that you're in, and you're never going to leave. That's literally what you feel and what you believe. I don't know. Anyone can maybe relate to that. But yeah, the fact that I'm in another country right now and actually am committed to going to other countries is like a massive deal. And like none of my family has traveled. We've all been in that hard, and like I feel like it's my responsibility to keep going, and I would really want to inspire other people to keep going. And I know a lot of us all do as well, because it's so special for our future generations to show them that, like, no, you don't have to be fitting in a little box. You know, you don't have to be what society tells you to be. You just be what you want to be and what feels good, and not even what looks good to other people, just what feels good to you. And yeah, I'm just so grateful.
Thank you so much, babe. That was honestly so powerful.
Appreciate you guys so much.
Amazing. I know there's so many different themes that we can go into with breaking the cycle. We could probably do like a full on like 8-hour training on this. So like I'm so grateful you were able to dive into all of that. And I know it's just barely scratching the surface. But we all I really feel everything that you shared. Yeah, so proud of you.
Thank you.
Amazing. So with that being said, this is all about breaking free from this old paradigm of how life has to go. So we live in a society that believes that it's completely normal and acceptable to go into debt. Nobody questions it at all. Maybe like $40,000, $50,000, $80,000 for a degree that we might never actually use or be able to get a job in that field. And if we do, it'll just be enough for us to pay the bills, to go to sleep in a bed that we had to pay for, in a place that we have to pay for so that we can wake up and go to work the next day, to just come back and have time to like eat dinner and go to sleep again in this place that we have to pay for, but we don't actually enjoy because we're never there, we're at work. And that's just considered normal. Or to invest, like take out a loan for a car that we're not actually going to drive forever. It's not really an investment that's going to pay us, but it's kind of like what we need to get around. And it's just going to depreciate in value, actually. So these things are considered societally like smart investments to, yeah, take out a car loan or to go to school and have student loans. And yet there can be some skepticism when it comes to maybe taking out a business loan and investing in yourself and investing in your dreams. And it's so backwards to me, because I think, you know, when we're investing in our dreams, we're actually investing in our future. And it's such a wise place to put our money. The best investment you'll ever make is in yourself, is in your growth, is in your health. Like you can never go wrong by investing in those things. And yet what we're typically taught is that, you know, it's better to go and spend 4 entire years working towards a degree where literally we're not guaranteed a certain amount of money out of it at the end. And we might finish off that degree and be told like, okay, congratulations, there's no jobs though. Like there is no guarantee. I think honestly, that's kind of a scam. But that's just my personal belief system. But anyways, this skepticism around starting an online business or around taking out a loan or investing in yourself is actually rapidly changing now, as more and more people are really awakening to this feeling that there has to be a better way. And this whole kind of like, well, if not this, then what mindset of, you know, like, I don't want to keep living the life that I'm living. So eventually people do reach a breaking point, which is maybe where you're at right now, that says, you know, I didn't think I would ever do one of these online things, or I didn't think I would ever want to invest in myself. I didn't think I could ever be an entrepreneur. But being an entrepreneur and actually working for ourselves, having our own stream of income is no longer just a nice thought that would be cool to have. It's actually starting to become a necessity if we want to evolve into the new world beyond just survival mode. It's actually not a choice anymore. Like we're seeing it, that inflation is rising far quicker than minimum wages rising, right? All around the world. Like I'm talking about Canada, but Australia too, the US, wherever you are, the cost of living is going up. And I don't think that your salary is matching the way the cost of living is going up. So there is nobody that's going to come and save you and bail you out and be like, oh, wait, we're so sorry. We messed up. Like we didn't match your income to the inflation. Let's just fix that for you. Nobody's coming to save us. Nobody is coming to save us. Nobody is going to go and be like, oh, that was actually making your life really hard. I am so sorry. We're just going to put the gas prices way down. Like we messed up. No, the systems are broken. They are crumbling. So that'll just collapse anyways. All of that's just going to collapse. But in the meantime, nobody's coming to bail you out. So it's becoming more and more of a necessity every single day for all of us waking up to go, okay, hang on a second. Where can I actually start to create money for myself instead of relying on my boss, relying on my, you know, career path that's not even guaranteed anyways. We saw what happened in the pandemic where the world shuts down, you know, people that thought they had security all of a sudden didn't. And we're really just left to question like what is safe and secure and guaranteed and what is risky and what is the right move. Everything is a risk. You go to school, it's a risk. It's a risk that you won't use the degree. You get a car, it's a risk that it's going to get totaled or something and you're not going to have it. You're taking a risk every single day. So I think one of the best risks that you can take is in believing in yourself. And knowing that, yeah, you don't know exactly how this is going to go, but by investing in yourself and your future, you're taking steps towards that vision that you want instead of just subscribing to a narrative of how things have to go. So why wealth matters? Why does money matter? Why, you know, when we talk about cycles, we're talking about breaking cycles of like, there could be so much, you know, like our parenting styles and all of these different things, but why are we talking about money right now? And that is because, first of all, any of the conscious parenting and connected present time I've spent with my child has been because I created money with this business. Like I can't really tell you so much about like how to be a conscious connected mother and raise your children in nature if you actually have to be leaving them in daycare to go to your job every single day and that's not what you want. So money freaking matters, and money in the right hands absolutely changes the world. We did not come to earth to be in a constant state of hustle. It actually really doesn't serve anybody for us to live our lives completely burnt out and disconnected from ourselves and from the world around us. It's not serving anyone. We think it serves people in the world for us to play it small and be like, oh, you know, wealth is greedy. I don't want to be wealthy. I'll just be minimal. Like, what does that even mean? I subscribed to that narrative for so long. I thought to be an earthy mama and live present and connected and grateful for what was in front of me, I couldn't dream bigger, because that would mean that I wasn't appreciative of the simple life that I had. You can appreciate a simple life and you can still dream so much bigger, because our greater visions for our lives actually do call for more money. Like, how are you going to, you know, host these beautiful retreats and facilitate a lot of healing for people without the space and the money to actually like hold that? Or how are you going to, you know, give back to communities that are suffering? How are you going to go and, you know, create new systems of support for children that are not getting it in the government systems? How are you going to do all of that without money? Money gives you a beautiful amount of power. And like I said, when it's in the right hands, the world will be completely different. So it actually matters to get wealth into the hands of people who want to do incredible, intentional, powerful things for this world. And that's why if you are being called into a greater vision, this is your permission slip to know that that vision actually is absolutely possible. You wouldn't be called towards it if you weren't prepared to make the amount of money needed for it. You have all the resources and the opportunities in front of you to make the wealth that is required to actually step into your grander vision of beyond what you thought was possible. You only maybe know like 1 to 5% of what you're actually going to do in this lifetime, the more you keep following your vision. The vision that I'm stepping into now of what we're going to be creating over the next 5 to 10 years, even 20 years, 30 years, is not like anything I could have possibly imagined. When I started this business, all I could think about was just not having to go to work and being able to like be in nature, be at the beach, being able to go back and forth between Canada and like the tropics. That's all I could think about was, yeah, eventually having a child and being there and not having to put her in daycare. But now it just expands and expands and expands, because there's so much more outside of that, and there's so much more that we can do. So honoring our money journey, our money story, most of our beliefs around life and money come from the ages of 0 to 7. This is when our subconscious mind is really picking up on a lot of narratives that we're hearing in our day-to-day lives without even realizing it, such as it's really hard to make money, or there's never enough of it. Money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford that. These rigid things that say like, this is the way things are. We just can't afford this. We just aren't one of those families that can XYZ, right? We grow up and that becomes ingrained in us. Even if we don't realize it, it's there and it's playing out subconsciously in what we expect of the world. So then we start to allow in what we expect and what we believe we deserve based on the stories that we've been telling ourselves throughout our lives. And we get to start allowing in more by expecting a different narrative. So we can be really mindful of this now that we notice it by starting to just shift our language and tell a new story. So it's as simple as, instead of saying like, I can't afford that, start asking, well, how could I afford that? Right? When you think about investing in yourself, oh, I can't, I don't have money. I can't do it. I don't have time. Starting to reframe and go like, how could I create the time? How could I create the money? How could I make something like this work for me so that I can step into a new cycle and not keep repeating the same old patterns of, well, I just can't. I'm just not one of those people who XYZ. So establishing a healthy money mindset is so essential for any new business venture. This isn't just a this thing. Like, if you actually want to start attracting and having a better relationship with money in your life, it is pivotal that you look at your money story. And that's something that we're also going to dive into in the course that we'll recommend. So yeah, diving in right now to what we actually do. I'm just going to really briefly skim through all of this. We're not going to do like a super deep dive into it all, because there's so much to learn. But again, we have different tools we can point you to. If you're wanting more information, you reach out to whoever sent you this video at the end, and you'll just let us know what you're desiring more info on or where you're ready to get started. But essentially what we do and how we're able to earn an income outside of the system from anywhere in the world is we are high ticket affiliate marketers. So affiliate marketing basically just means partnering with an existing product or company rather than having to start up your own. When you start up your own product or company, you're investing probably hundreds of thousands of dollars into creating a traditional business. But with this, you get to partner with something that's already working and that you don't have to do all of that legwork on. By referring others to a product or company as an affiliate marketer, you receive a commission when somebody buys using your code or your link. And what we've done is we've partnered with an incredible company that actually promotes sustainability and holistic health, two values that like everyone should care about. And that are never just going to be some trendy thing that goes away. We are always going to need water through enriching our bodies, lives, and the planet with living water. And because it's a high-end product, it also equals a high commission. So when you're selling something that is a massive investment for someone to have in their home for decades, and it's such a worthwhile, valuable, high-end product, it also comes along with a higher price point, of course. Financing options are available, but we actually then get to tap into a higher commission on every single product that we sell. So in order to partner with this life-changing company, you don't need to know everything. You don't need to have 1 million followers. You don't even need to apply to become an affiliate for them. All you need to do is just own one of their products. And that makes sense because, of course, if you're going to be telling everybody they should be drinking the best water in the world and you're still drinking your tap water or buying plastic bottles, then that's not in integrity with this mission. So you just need to own one of the products. That's all. And unlike in traditional MLM style businesses, there is no minimum quota that you need to sell each month or each year in order to stay active in this business. Your business never goes away no matter what happens. You don't have any membership fees. You can actually out earn the person who started above you or before you. There's no one person just sitting at the top doing nothing and making all of the money that you can't surpass. And you will never, ever go backwards in your rank. So when you've attained a rank in this business, you are that rank, no matter how many sales you make the following month, or if you take some time off, you'll always be that rank. So that's kind of like why the hustle culture here is dead, because you're not like constantly gripping at keeping your business alive, right? It's always there for you. Most of us didn't know that we needed or cared about water ionization devices at all before we found this opportunity, to be completely honest with you. Didn't know, didn't care, and didn't have the money to invest in our own when we got started. But through Financing Monthly, we were able to open our own high profit, high impact businesses, and ended up all of us falling so massively in love with this high vibrational water as a result of that, that none of us will go without our water at this point. Even though we didn't come to this business necessarily looking for the water, but we fell so in love with it and became like avid, like die-hard customers of this business, but also been able to create a life-changing income through it as well. So you can talk to us after this masterclass if you're wanting to explore different financing options for the products. There is no situation where like you can't make it happen. I truly believe that if there's a will and if you're determined to make a change in your life, we can find a way. The reason we've invested into a high ticket product like this is because while the initial investment may be higher, it actually is much easier to profit. Because if you imagine that you're selling a product where you maybe earn $20 per sale, it would take you 500 sales to make your first $10,000. Whereas with a high ticket product, you're actually able to earn that same $10,000 in just your first few sales. And for myself, when I was in low ticket network marketing, selling health and wellness products like protein shakes and bars and energy drinks and all of that stuff, it seemed like a smaller investment for me because I only had to buy a few $100s worth of products, but I had to keep buying a few $100s worth of products for life every month. And that would have equated to way more than what I invested one time in this business. So by investing in actually 4 of the products that are offered and following our proven formula, you're earning around $1,000 guaranteed back right away before you've even made any sales, and thousands of dollars in commissions on your very first sale. So multiple members of our community have recently been experiencing those first exciting few $1,000 commissions on their sales with no prior experience coming into this, no large following. We have a girl in our team who I think within her first month or her first 6 weeks, she had 86 followers on Instagram. She had already created her first $3,000 commission through this business just by following the proven formula. So with such high commissions, it really does become so simple because now all of a sudden you don't need to sell to 500 people, right? You're not trying to figure out how you're going to convince every single person that they need the water or they need to join your business. You're just literally living your life, following the steps, and you don't need to make 1 million sales in order to make really, really amazing money here. This company also offers a roadmap to legacy wealth, which can look like anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000 US guaranteed every single month for the rest of your life, regardless of whether you made any sales that month, which just blows my mind. But it's not that mind blowing to me anymore because I'm actually almost there. So I'm starting to really see it as like not just this crazy far off thing, but like an actual proven path to get there. And this income can even be passed down to your children, making it a true legacy business. $5,000 a month is way more than pretty much anyone in a traditional job retires on. And I did not have any sort of plan for retirement in what I was doing. I was like bartending at random bars, like not even a consistent career path. So I had no plan to save for my retirement, and this will be my retirement fund, and it's going to be more than $5,000 a month for life. It'll be much more. So if you want a further breakdown on how all of this works, comment formula right now to be tagged in a full video breakdown where you can understand the full compensation plan and get to really get a feel for how all of this works. Pillar number 2 of what we do is authentic attraction marketing. So we've entered a new era in the world of social media where authenticity is truly felt through the screen. Like you can tell when you land on someone's page or when they message you, you just know, you get this feeling. We're really tapped into whether things feel genuine or not. And we've learned through this business how to actually build an online presence that feels genuine, that feels true to us and true to our values and our passions, rather than trying to be someone that we're not on social media to make a sale. So by being yourself and sharing your journey, you are starting to attract people who are just like you. That's kind of just how the law of attraction works in general, is that by being your most authentic self, you're going to be attracting people into your field who resonate with that same frequency. You are so much more than just a company or a product that you partner with. That shouldn't be your entire social media feed. Your personal brand on social media is going to capture your essence and what actually lights you up and matters to you. So people will feel you through the screen. And through our step-by-step guide, you're going to learn how to market organically in co-creation with this law of attraction and with ads to actually expand your audience, reaching people who truly do resonate with you. This means that you're never going to be required to pressure all your friends and family to join you or push people in your DMs to buy products or post promotions all over your page if you don't want to. You will honestly be amazed as you go through the process of how some of these connections arise. Some of the people that have come into my business and are genuinely family to me now came in the most weird ways, or we don't even know how they landed on my page, or like I wasn't even running an ad, but somehow they just saw what they needed to see. And that's truly what I believe is when we put something out there in this truly aligned energy on social media and we know who we're here to impact, it's going to land in front of the right eyes somehow, some way, the way that it's meant to. Pillar number 3 is automation. So it doesn't matter how much money you're earning if you don't actually have the time freedom to enjoy it. So automated systems in our businesses allow us to focus on sharing and inspiring, which is what we get paid to do, and have the rest of it all just taken care of for us. So there are systems that are supporting us by closing sales for us, by explaining the products for us, processing paperwork, orders, answering questions, even training our team for us so that we get to be continuing to show up in our light and igniting others, and then bringing them into a system that's done for you. So this is how a lot of us have actually earned money in our sleep. I've earned money while I'm like super pregnant, not on my phone, about to give birth. I've earned money on like a 15-hour flight with no internet. And it's all thanks to automated systems that have had my back for me throughout that process. So not only will you have tools that help support you in building your business, but you can also trust that by sending others through a simple link, they're going to be taken care of as well by a step-by-step process. So this means you don't need to be available 24/7 or have all of the expertise to step into a coaching role unless this is something that you desire to do. So automation is what has your back while you're out there actually living your life. And the more we're living our life, the more that we get paid, because we're tapping into the energy and the embodiment of what we came here to earth to do, which is to be in nature, like to be around people, to be sharing our gifts and passions and getting to give those gifts and passions to the world and not need to stress about where the money is going to come from, because the money part is taken care of. And the last pillar is community and mentorship. So one of the biggest reasons that people do give up on their goals is typically due to this feeling of a lack of support. It can feel really daunting to start something new all on your own, especially when you're still working in the same environment and surrounded by the same people every day. And you're really trying to grow into a whole new version of yourself outside of that comfort zone and the life that you've always known, and breaking patterns and learning new skills. But you're also still in those same environments and around the same people. So this is where the community aspect of this business comes in. The people in your current circle might not understand your dreams, but that's okay, because we've got your back. We have group chats for support. We've got weekly team calls to collaborate and empower each other. We've got tools specifically for our DBLL community, our Dreaming Bigger, Living Louder team, and so much more. We even run epic retreats to meet up with our global community all around the world. You are never alone here when it comes to starting your journey and not knowing what the heck you're doing yet, and just like getting to lean on people for support, which is so beautiful, because there's going to be times that you're scared or that you don't know what the heck to do or you're confused, and we've got your back. So where do we learn all of this? It can be really overwhelming to know exactly where to start when you're diving into something new. Most of us in this community have actually learned a lot of these skills through an online academy that walks you step by step through exactly what to do when you get started. So with this, you go on a discovery journey to unlock your dream vision, to learn more about the company and the different ways of getting started, and even receive a free one-on-one call to help answer all of your questions and help you with financing your initial investment. From there, you're going to have access to hundreds of videos and courses to help you thrive in this business, and so much more, all for just $99 a month with a 14-day money-back guarantee to feel it all out. And honestly, going through the value that's packed into this academy, I've spent a lot of money on courses and containers and mentorships and all that kind of stuff. And everything that's in here, I honestly believe is worth thousands and thousands of dollars. The more I watch things about like breaking your money cycles or shifting into this new paradigm and like healing your inner child, I'm like, holy moly, like I would pay good money for what we have access to for $99 a month. And for a limited time, if you dive in right now, you're actually going to receive 50% off your first month membership and only pay $49 to access everything I just mentioned, while still having the 14-day money back guarantee to determine if it feels like a fit for you. So you can even go through, have your full clarity call and everything, chat with the advisor, get a feel for everything. And if it doesn't feel in alignment, that's okay. We love you and support you anyways. And if it does, cool, you're so supported throughout the process. So if this is resonating with you and you are ready to take that next step, comment or message the person that brought you here and just drop Academy for access. And we'll connect with you and get you into the next steps, whatever that looks like for the person that brought you here. We've all got our own systems of how we can best support you and what we really recommend, so we can get you those next steps if you just reach out. Last but not least, I am so excited to introduce the incredible Taylor Ray Soleil. I love you so much, my sister. She was there when I birthed my baby. Like so wild, because without this business, that never would have happened. We were both living in Bali, and yeah, she was just the biggest support to me throughout like my pregnancy and postpartum and life in general. Taylor Ray always knew that she was meant for so much more than the conventional path expected by society. She actually grew up around conversations like the law of attraction and, you know, all of these types of things, but she just didn't actually have the vehicle in place to take her where she wanted to go. And it came in perfectly when it needed to. So life has always really had her back through guiding her where she needed to be. And she booked a one-way ticket to Thailand at the age of 18 with no plan and hardly any savings, just one of the many crazy leaps that she's taken and risks in her life. But she's traded the security of staying in her comfort zone for unknown adventures and spontaneity over and over again, trusting she'll always be divinely guided as she continues to follow her heart where it calls her around the world. She's gone from living broke on her mom's couch to then taking full ownership of where she was at in her life and deciding to write a new story and step into a life that truly lights her up. And she's in the most beautiful season of just like blossoming and evolving into this next level version of herself. And that next level version of herself is who's going to be speaking to you right now. So I'm so excited to just tune into whatever is on your heart to share, my love.
Thank you so much. I feel like I'm at a loss for words after that. I'm feeling probably very similar to Amy and Chelsea as you like introduce them. You're like that happened. Like all of that happened, and there were so many cycles in that I really got to and free from. And I'm excited to touch of those with you guys in just a second. But first, I really want to drop into like everything you heard on this call and really just take a deep breath, like let it soak in for a moment. Like you are literally on a masterclass right now. You're listening to something called Break the Cycle. Like I want you to take a moment to honor your decision, honor that you said yes to tuning in, to listening to this, and just take a deep breath with that. Take a deep breath with everything that you heard, everything that you learned, everything that might not make sense yet. Just take a deep breath. And really let it land, really let it sink in, really allowing yourself to fully arrive here and know that this is such a beautiful step on your journey. All of the information that you're receiving today, you are meant to be hearing. There is no accident that you are here. Like 110%, you are meant to be hearing everything. You are meant to be feeling what you're feeling right now, no matter what that is. And I just invite you to take another deep breath, eyes closed, hands in your heart, maybe if that feels good. And honor yourself. Thank yourself. Have gratitude for being here, for showing up for yourself, and truly allowing yourself to connect to an idea that is so outside of the cycles that we are so overwhelmingly encompassed by in our day-to-day lives. I'm going to bring you back here for a second and just speak on that topic for a second. We are so overwhelmingly surrounded by so many cycles in our day-to-day lives, right? Like at 18 years old, I booked a one-way ticket to Thailand. People thought that I was crazy because I was breaking a societal cycle there. Like I was probably insane. I remember like my heart was pounding out of my chest when I was booking that plane ticket because I was like, people don't do this. People that I know don't do this. People that I see on the internet do this. And that's really cool. But people that I know don't do this. And I broke a societal cycle. That's a little bit of a tongue twister. I broke the societal cycle that keeps so many people so stuck. Like Amy was speaking on earlier, how, we get into this job that we're super excited about. We're super called to help people and to help them heal and learn and grow and whatever the case may be with whatever job you get into. And then all of a sudden you get this paycheck that like is some boss telling you what you're worth monetarily. And you're like, oh, that's the system that I'm in. That's the cycle that I'm in. And you can either choose to be like, okay, I guess that's how this is, or you can choose and know that there's something different for you, that there's so much more out there for you. Even though so many people around you are doing something totally normal, you're allowed to dream bigger. You're allowed to have that bigger vision for yourself. And I can almost guarantee you that if you're listening to this right now, that you are someone who dreams bigger. That you do have a vision for your life that is so big and so grand and so incredible, and that you know deep down inside of you that that is meant for you and that it's meant to happen. And the reason why I know this is because the only reason that you can see that vision, that you have that dream, is because it exists for you in your future. There is a future version of you out there in the timeline of the universe, however that actually works, because I don't personally believe it's linear, but that's a whole other topic of conversation. But there is a future version of you out there that is living that life that you can see so clearly in your mind. Like, have you ever asked yourself, like, why can I see this so clearly? Like, why? Is it just a dream? Is it just an idea? No, like, it's real, and it gets to be your reality when you choose that for yourself. And I'm going to be real raw here because like that's just how we roll in this like authentic business thing. It took me so long actually for that to super land, and I don't want you to make the same mistake that I did, because I knew this. I was like, oh yeah, like there's this future version out there, like I can see her, I can feel her, I know her, like I've had visions and conversations where I've spoken to her and I can see the life that she's living. And I was living my life hoping that I would get there. Hoping that I would, I'm like getting emotional here, hoping that I would meet her. Instead of realizing that like, if I actually wanted to make that happen, I needed to choose that. I needed to commit to embodying the actions, the energy, and the belief system of this person that's me, that's inside of me somewhere, because she's there, I can see her, right? I needed to commit to embodying that version of myself because, I saw this version of me, and we can go over like habits or beliefs or whatever that they have. Maybe they have a morning practice, or she goes outside, or she's super intentional with her future family, or my future family, her present family timelines. We can see all of these things, but until we're doing those things in the now, we can never get there, right? Like I had to get real honest with myself and look at her life and look at my life, and I was like, this isn't really lining up, Because if I'm not embodying the energy, actions, and beliefs that she has and does habitually, then how am I going to get there? And in the same breath, I realized, oh, well, she had to start somewhere, right? She didn't just wake up one day and was like, oh, I'm living this life by the beach with my kids and I'm super present and I'm out in nature and I do a morning yoga practice and breath work and all this stuff. She didn't just wake up one day and do that. No, she started somewhere. So in that moment, I realized, I was like, oh, okay, now can be my somewhere. Like right now, like it can be right now, it can be a couple weeks ago, it can be a couple months ago, whatever, or it can be literally today. If this is a concept that's new or this idea is something you're like, wow, okay, I never thought of it that way. Like right now, like they could start somewhere and that could be right now. That could be you in this moment deciding and committing to making a change and doing something different for yourself to meet that future version of yourself that is longing for you, that wants to meet you just as badly as you want to meet them. Let's just let that land for a second, because I really invite you and hope that you guys see how powerful the commitment to yourself and the decision that you are going to break the cycle, the decision that you are going to not live the same patterns and cycles and habits and beliefs that you've been living for so long that have maybe been working. Maybe it's been working. Like I booked a one-way ticket at 18 to Thailand, and from there on I was working and I was traveling and I was working and I was traveling and I was in this cycle that was working. I was living my dream of traveling the world, but there was so much more. The vision was so much bigger, so much deeper. And I had to get really honest with myself and be like, okay, now I'm in a new cycle, I'm in a new pattern. And even though it might be working, even though it might feel safe, even though it might be comfortable, are these actually the beliefs, habits, patterns, and actions that are going to get me to the vision, to the future, to the light that I can see so clearly in my mind? And if the answer is no, then you get to choose to do something different. And that's the energy that I'm incurring. It feels super fresh, and it is super fresh, and it's a really powerful place to be, because you are the only person who is able to change what you're doing and how you're living. You are literally the only person who has that power. Like there's no one else that has that power. Like Shar was saying earlier, like no one's coming to bail you out. No one has this magic thing. It's literally all up to you. And also, if you are repeating these cycles and patterns in your life that you're not really happy about, the only person that's perpetuating that is also you. And that can be incredibly frustrating, or it can be incredibly liberating, knowing that, well, okay, like if I think to myself, if I'm the problem, but I'm also the solution, I'm going to focus my energy on being the solution and breaking out of those cycles that are keeping me so stuck. So I'm going to leave you guys with one thing. This is like probably my favorite concept ever. That'll probably change. I'm fickle with favorite concepts, but right now it's my favorite concept. I heard it on a podcast a while back, and basically they were speaking into how you have to make decisions from where you want to be and not from where you are now. Because when you make decisions from where you want to be, you actually are making actions, taking steps, and doing the thing that is going to get you to where you want to be. Whereas if you're making choices that are in alignment with where you are now, then you're just going to continue to perpetuate and repeat the same cycles and patterns that you're in now. But when you make decisions with where you want to be, then like when you make decisions from where you want to be and how you want to grow and how you want to expand and the vision and the life that you see yourself in, when you make decisions from there now, as if you were that person making the decisions, or in the mindset of that person making the decisions, then you will get there.
So good. And yes, it's like, we often make decisions from, it's like, well, what do I currently have in my bank account? Can I or can't I? And Like, have I ever done this before? Yes, no. Okay, so I can't. And when we do start tapping into the version of you that's already done it, they started here. They started by saying yes when they didn't have the money. They started saying yes when they didn't have the time. They started by saying yes when they didn't know what they were doing yet, trusting that the next step and the next step and the next step would guide them to the things that they needed to know. But they started by opening, by allowing, by saying yes. And being in that space of opening and allowing and saying yes says yes to the universe, says yes to life, that we're accepting in all that is meant for us. So with that being said, we have a special bonus offer for anyone who is diving all in right away, feeling the fear, feeling whatever comes up for you. It's all perfect. If you feel nervous, like that's good. It means that you care about your life. And if you're anxious about something, it means that you're not just treating it like some tiny little hobby thing. You actually see this for what it is, which is a life-changing opportunity that's going to flip your whole world upside down if you choose that. So it's good. Whatever you're feeling is good. For those of you who are diving in right away, if you start your journey within 48 hours of watching this video and invest in your business before November 30th, you will qualify for a special VIP 4-week mentorship program where you're going to be guided right from the beginning by high earning leaders in our DVLL community. You'll hear some of the people that you've heard today and so many others who have created success, again, with like no followers or with no experience or with no confidence. You're going to hear from people who have gone and done this and created thousands of dollars in their initial commissions without knowing it all, or without having it all together, without having the money. So yeah, you're going to get to just get really creative over the next couple of weeks of diving in, starting your journey and finding a solution, being the one who sees things as an opportunity instead of just like deciding, you know, maybe I can't because of this old story. You're choosing the new story. You're choosing the version of you that knows that you can do it. And we're going to be there to support you and empower you and get creative with you on how you can actually make this happen for yourself. So just a reminder of the next steps to keep on learning. You're going to reach out to the person who invited you here. Start your journey with the Academy for $49 and book your included digital business specialist call. Or again, if the person who invited you here has a different process, maybe they hop on a call with you, whatever it is perfect. You've connected with the person you connected with for a reason. So you're meant to follow in those footsteps, and you're going to get to complete that discovery process of really tapping into your vision and gaining clarity on what you desire in your life. You're going to get all of your questions answered on your call and get to start and invest in your business in a way that feels really aligned for you. So I encourage all of you as you go throughout this process, first of all, drop a 1 in the chat if you're freaking excited right now. Like I said, you can also drop formula if you want the breakdown of how the money works. You can drop Academy if you want to go directly in and start your journey. But like I said, having a conversation with who invited you here will be the perfect way to get clarity on those next steps. But drop a 1 if you're so excited. And just wanting you to carry with you as you move forward through the next steps of this process, this knowing that things will come up for you. Not like, oh, you know, you might feel a little bit anxious about this, or you might doubt yourself for a second, but you'll doubt yourself. I doubt myself all the time. Like I literally doubt myself every single day. I still have these old stories and doubts coming up, and I just choose not to listen to them as much as I used to, because they were keeping me very, very stuck when I was listening to them. So I decided that wasn't really serving me, but they will come up. And so if you start to actually expect them to come up, yeah, that's creating this narrative that doubts will arise, but like doubts naturally arise as part of the human journey. So when you start to recognize that they will and that it's normal, then when they come up, you're not going to be like, oh, I had this doubt come up, so now I don't know if I can. You're going to be like, oh, okay, this doubt is coming up, but Charlotte told me that it would, so I guess this is part of it. And you're going to share that with the person who brought you here and say, hey, this is what I'm feeling right now. This is what's coming up. Or like, I'm not used to investing money, or I've never done anything like this, or I don't know how to show up on social media, or I don't feel very confident, but I know that this is meant for me. So where do I go from here? And that's what you have us to lean on for. And the more that you open up and lean into this community and the person that brought you here and share what's coming up for you, the more empowered you're going to feel, because you'll recognize that by opening up, by getting vulnerable about where you're at, that's how you actually then receive the support that you're needing. So be open, share what's up, let it all be okay, no matter how you're feeling throughout your journey, and allow us to have your back in this, because we do, and we love you, and we're here for you. And we're so freaking excited for you to be in the group chat, be in the mentorship, and be at the next retreat. And that future version of you that is like running up and hugging us all wherever the heck we meet up in the world next. She or he said yes to themselves today. And that's such an exciting feeling, knowing that you don't just have to hope that that might happen for you. You actually get to choose it right here and now. Love you all so much. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you so soon in the mentorship. Have a beautiful day, evening, wherever you are in the world. Lots of love. Oh, wait.
Yay!
I didn't
So
actually
good.
stop recording. I stopped sharing.